Kenny Aronoff. Thank you. Thank you. All right. It's a good thing Seattle Seahawks aren't playing today because I wouldn't be here. Seriously. But they have a bye this weekend, so. You know, I was here playing with the Blue Thunder when they broke the record, right? Well, what a lot of people don't know is that I'm an Indianapolis Colts fan, and this is the truth. The owner of the Colts called me up on a Wednesday and said, hey, listen, I'm sending a G5 jet to pick you up and Steven Stills up in LA and bring you to Indianapolis to have dinner and then watch the game and then fly you back. I went, oh man, I'm already booked with the Seahawks. Oh my God. Well, I didn't actually speak to him. I spoke to his secretary. I came up with another excuse because I thought, man, but I mean, that's so bizarre to have. It's one thing, you know, to get a challenge of like, man, I can't do that session because I got that session. It's another thing to get, we're talking the NFL. I was like competing against 2 NFL teams. Crazy, man. All right, so, let's see, for this quick little master class, I thought I'd talk about, you know, in this day and age, there's so much information, there's so much to learn, there's so many possibilities, so many things to learn. You go into a drum store and, you know, you look at all the books and the DVDs, or you just go online. It's like, what do you work on? I mean, you work on your hands, your feet, your double bass drum, your rudiments. It's too much information, not enough time. So what I can't talk about everything in this little slot here, but one thing that I think that I notice people ask me these questions, so now I'm giving you kind of an answer to that, is that I came up with this thing based on people asking me, you know, what do I work on? Where do I begin? I got so much, or they come in and they're trying to do, like, well, I want to kind of sound like Slipknot, but then I also want to sound like John Bonham, and I also want to sound like, Tony Williams. I'm like, whoa, dude, you'd have to live 500 years to do all that. So I came up with this thing called functional practicing, and it's basically, you have to figure out what it is that you need to practice to sound good today. In other words, start by taking care of business. Take care of the business at hand. What do you do? If you're taking lessons, the most important thing to practice first, before you do anything else, is to prepare for that lesson. Because you've committed to that, and you're being judged by how you perform for that lesson. That's the first thing you have to do every day. Then you can go off and try to sound like anybody else or do whatever you want. Always take care of take care of the business that's going to make you sound good today. And then you can be building for the future. So in my case, I have so many gigs going on, I've got to prepare. Like right now, I was flying up here, and I was preparing for I'm trying to learn the songs. You have to play 7 Billy Joel songs and 7 Santana songs with 7 different artists for each person being honored. So my agenda is like, because on December 5th, that's a week from Wednesday, I have to fly to Washington, and I have to have all this stuff together, and they're going to change it a million times. They may add songs, take away songs, but I'm preparing to sound as good as I possibly can for that gig. Not something in January. Not the Grammys or the Beatles or any of that stuff. I got to sound good in Washington because I'm going to be judged there. And I can't be prepared enough. And for this clinic, for this day, I didn't have to prepare as much because I just did a clinic 2 days ago, and I did another clinic 4 days ago. So I kind of know I'm already got this taken care of. But you should be practicing things that make you sound good. If you're playing in a band, you should practice those songs. You should go, and any song that you play in a band, I guarantee you could probably work and develop and make what you do better. So if you're playing in a band, let's say you're doing 10, 20, 30, 40 songs, whatever it is, any one of those songs that has any problems, with your time or the beat or fill, you got to practice that stuff. You got to go over it and over and over it. It's the small things make a big difference, and the small things perfecting all those. Like perfecting like a fill or a beat or a groove. It may sound like, well, I can kind of play it. The difference between being an A+ player and even a B- player is huge. And it's those fine little details that make a big difference. So if you came up here and you said, well, yeah, I played in this band and I play these songs, and I'd have you play the beat, just the beat alone, the beats, the verse, the chorus, the bridges, I bet you I could sit there and work with you and make those things sound better. And I create exercises around, here's an example. Sometimes I do these jumps.